Welcome to our channel. Don't forget to give us your thumbs up. Remember to subscribe and please share. In the news, worst political scene. Kwankwaso breaks silence on defections to APC. The national leader of the Kwankwaso movement and former governor of Kano State, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has condemned the recent wave of defections from the new Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) to the All Progressive Congress (APC), describing the move as the worst political sin. Kwankwaso, who has himself faced speculation over a possible return to the APC, made the remarks on Friday evening at his Mula Road residence in Kano while receiving hundreds of supporters from Takai local government area who rejected calls to the effect. A statement comes in the wake of recent political realignments, including the defection of Senator Abdulrahman Kawu, representing Kano South Senatorial District, alongside several federal lawmakers from the state. Without directly naming the defectors, Kwankwaso referenced Kano South as a prime example of voters' loyalty and principled politics. Kano South is a lesson. Voters rejected spaghetti, 200 naira, and Atamfa rappers and were patient to vote for the NNPC, he said. But those who won the election among us decided to abandon the masses and join those who do not have the masses at heart, but are only after what they will get for themselves and their families. There is no worse political sin than leaving the party that gave you the opportunity and support, but later you abandon the party. This is the highest level of betrayal, he added. Kwankwaso urged the younger generation to be vigilant, warning them against politicians whose primary interest lies in personal gain. The former governor commended the Takai group for their loyalty and moral courage. He added, fighting Kwankwaso is not an easy task. They will not know until when they engage in the fight. Also, speaking at the event, NNPP State Chairman Ashimu Dungurawa applauded the returnees for making what he described as the right choice, assuring them of full reintegration into the party. You will be treated equally without discrimination, Dungurawa said. Well, of course, we are in the era of excessive or continuous defection here and there. We are in the era of coalition talk and a lot of things. Because 2027 election is the next agenda, even on the table and the plans of politicians in Nigeria now. And everyone is trying to read even into the mind of each other, trying to understand and know what is going to be the next step and the next situation of things. And as it were too, as we're seeing defection from one party to another, for example, from PDP to APC in Delta State, we have also seen defection from NNPP even to APC in Kano State. And in this case now, the expectation was that the senator from Kano South, who happened to have defected to APC, believed that the leader, their national leader, will eventually defected to APC. Maybe they were reading his body language, knowing fully well that he has been having some secret talks with the incumbent president who happens to be from APC, and the belief of the supporters is quite that the very soon, of course, Kwankwaso will also defect. And that's number one. The other end, we are seeing coalitions come trying to raise his head, believing that PDP, it will maybe Atiku faction in the PDP may want to pull PDP into a coalition, trying to have some talks with SDP, have some talks with Labour Party and the likes. So these are some of the things that makes the situation that we are in now in Nigeria's political landscape to be that of defection here and there. Everything is get towards the plan towards 2027 election. Everyone want to just make sure that as far as 2027 is concerned, their calculation is not wrong. They want to align correctly, and they want to fight tooth and nail to get the best of the result, knowing fully well that while the incumbent wasn't in power, though his party happens to be in power, he won the election with the fact that there is a lot of challenges and against him, and large followership of people who didn't really want him there. And now that he is in power, he might need to, of course, close that gap, gain more ground, and then it might look even more difficult to be defeated, because when he was more vulnerable, he wasn't defeated, he won. Now that he has a lot even at his disposal, his advantage is higher, and he has done some things that probably some people in some quarters in the country will have a softening hand towards him, because he might have reached their heart and touched them as regards his political escapade, as it were. And probably they may have a rethink about the fact that we hate him or we don't want him because of certain things, and then he might have convinced them and blew their mind. So looking at all those things together made the other politicians who happen to be in opposition to begin their own activity, their work early enough, because he is going to be a very, very difficult opponent to defeat. And that is what is ringing about the issue of defection. But then Kwankwaso has decided to surprise everyone that have been reading, permutating and thinking he too will be leaving because of his, relationship with the president, that is still in NNPP. And for those who defected, he has already condemned them, that it's a big sin for them to abandon the ship that has brought them to shore and then jump into another ship entirely. That is a big political sin that they ought not to engage in. He also, I will make it tantamount to fighting Kwankwasia. That is not an easy task, and they will not only, know until when they engage in the fight. Meaning that if you defect from NNPP, you are fighting Kwankwaso. That's what he's saying. They mean the Kwankwasia movement that is being headed by Kwankwaso himself. Be it as it may, what is done is done. Then some others who follow the senator then to APC have decided to make a U-turn now, and they return to NNPP, which they are welcome back, and the leader of the party, the chairman in the state, has already promised them that they still have the equal right with others who state that there is no cause for alarm. But then we're still looking at it, never say never with politicians, especially in this part of the world. We will see before 2027 come the decision of Kwankwaso movement at the end of the day. Let's keep on waiting, and let's see their final decision. Don't forget to subscribe, and make sure, please, you give us your like and share. Thank you.